Aloha. So, you've been scrolling through Instagram, haven't you? You saw a tanned couple in a yurt picking mangoes, living their best life, and you thought, I could do that. I could trade my commute for a compost toilet and endless summer. Welcome to the dream of off-grid living in Hawaii. But before you sell your kidneys to buy a jungle lot in Puna, we need to have a little come-to-the-light meeting, because while paradise is pretty, it's also bureaucratic, expensive, and occasionally on fire. I'm Jason Wong, the principal broker of Island Dragonfly, and today we are looking into the laws, the poop, the lava, and the price tag of going off-grid in the Aloha state. Let's start with the boring stuff that will get you sued if you ignore it. The law. First, forget the idea that you can just buy land and build a shack. Hawaii is not the Wild West. It's the highly regulated West. Most off-grid land is zoned agricultural or ag. Now here's the fact. You can't just build a mansion on ag land and call it a day. The county wants you to actually farm. On the Big Island, for example, if you want a second dwelling, you need a farm dwelling agreement. That means you have to prove your property generates income from agriculture. No, your TikTok creation studio doesn't count as farming. Also, tiny homes. Everyone loves them. Hawaii zoning boards? Not so much. Officially, a dwelling usually needs to be at least 120 to 220 square feet, depending on the county, with a kitchen and bathroom. If you park a tiny home on wheels on your lot legally, that's often considered a campground or temporary structure. You might get away with it for a while, but if your neighbor calls the inspector, game over. Let's talk about the two things you need to survive: water and power. Number one, water. Most off-grid spots in Hawaii, especially in Puna or Ocean View, have no municipal water. You are catching rain. It sounds romantic until you realize you are drinking whatever lands on your roof. Bird poop, rat lungworm disease, look it up, it's terrifying, and volcanic ash. Legally, the Department of Health doesn't regulate your private catchment tank. That means you are the water treatment plant. You need filters, UV lights, and a food-grade liner. If you skimp on this, you aren't one with nature, you're one with a parasite. Number two, power. Good news, we have sun. Loads of it. Bad news. Hawaii has some of the strictest electrical codes in the US. And if you think you'll just tie into the grid later, think again. Hawaii has the highest electricity rates in the nation, almost triple the US average. Plus, on islands like Oahu and the Big Island, the grid is so saturated with solar that the utility company might not even let you export power. You need batteries. Big, expensive lithium batteries. Now, let's talk about the poop. I know. I'll just dig a hole. No, you will not. Hawaii has banned new cesspools. In fact, under Act 125, every existing cesspool in the state has to be replaced by 2050. If you are building new, you are legally required to install a septic system or an aerobic treatment unit. That involves engineers, permits, and about $10,000 to $20,000 before you even flush for the first time. Composting toilets are legal, but they usually have to be NSF certified models to pass inspection. A bucket and sawdust isn't going to fly with the building department. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the volcano in the backyard. If you are looking at cheap land, I'm talking $20,000 to $40,000 an acre. You are probably looking at Lava Zone 1 or 2, specifically Puna. It is beautiful. It is lush. It is also where the ground literally opened up in 2018 and swallowed 700 homes. Insurance in Lava Zone 1 or 2 is basically a unicorn. If you find it, it costs a fortune. Most off-gridders here are self-insured, which is a fancy way of saying, if the lava comes, I lose everything. Also, fun fact, koki frogs. They are invasive, they are everywhere in the jungle, and they screech at 90 decibels all night long. It's not a gentle lullaby, it's a car alarm that never dies. Finally, the paradise tax. Off-grid implies cheap, right? Wrong. Everything you build with has to be shipped here. Lumber, solar panels, batteries, that cute clawfoot tub. Add 30% to 50% to the price of everything you see at Home Depot on the mainland. And food? Unless you really are growing 100% of your calories, prepare to pay $9 for a gallon of milk. So, is off-grid living in Hawaii amazing? Yes. You wake up to trade winds, you eat papayas from your yard, and you don't pay an electric bill. But it is not a vacation, it is a job. You are the utility company, the water treatment plant, and the farmer. If you have grit, respect the land and the lava, and do your research, it's the best life in the world. If you just want a tan and a cheap house, maybe try Florida. I'm Jason Wong. Stay savvy, stay legal, and I'll see you in the jungle. Aloha, my friend.